presentation. So Cloud Composer features creating environments, working on the DAGs, figuring out the DAGs, monitoring DAGs, Apache plugins ni add చేయడం. Next, introduction to the characteristics and application of the Cloud Composer. Cloud Composer is a fully managed workflow orchestration tool, enabling you to create, schedule, monitor, and manage workflow pipelines that span across clouds. That span across clouds in the sense it's not only connected to the GCP platform, it is even you can utilize this cloud composer connected to the other cloud vendors like వాళ్ళ యొక్క సర్వీసెస్ కూడా మీరు కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు S3 బకెట్ కావచ్చు రెడ్ షిఫ్ట్ కావచ్చు Azure Synapses కావచ్చు you can connect to other clouds also from the say GCP cloud and even on-premises data centers మీ యొక్క MySQL server కానీ Linux machines కానీ వాటికి కూడా you can connect to from the cloud composer environment. And next, Cloud Composer is built on the popular Apache Airflow open source project and operates using the Python programming language. Yes. So, Apache Airflow లో మీరు కనుక డేటా పైప్లైన్స్ ని అంటే డాగ్స్ ని వర్క్ ఫ్లోస్ ని బిల్డ్ చేయాలి అంటే you must be aware of the Python programming language because using this one only you can prepare or you can write the DAGs, you can orchestrate them. So that's the reason Python is mandatory to orchestrate the DAGs using Apache Airflow. And coming to the fourth slide, by using Cloud Composer instead of the local instance of Apache Airflow, you can benefit from the best of Airflow with no installation or management overhead. Right. Because right now we are using some of the VM instance from the GCP and we install the Airflow on that. Now we are using that Airflow, right? So here, if something happens with the VM instance, like in the case of like security, in the case of like patches, and in the case of like upgradation of software, and even each and everything is taken care by the GCP, that's okay. Partially it is okay. But if you install this Apache Airflow on your local machine, then you must be conscious about the security, administration, all these things. But when you comes up with the Cloud Composer, you are not, I mean, supposed to do something else with the installation of the Apache Airflow, other kind of maintenance issues and anything, even the security kind of stuff also. So you can avoid all of them and simply you can use the Apache Airflow from the Cloud Composer with few steps and less than 30 minutes your cluster for the Composer environment is going to be created. So that's the main advantage of the Cloud Composer from the GCP platform. And even Cloud Composer helps you create managed Airflow environments quickly and use Airflow native tools, whatever it may be. It might be connections, it might be variable keeping, and it might be tags running. It might be checking or running the tasks from the CLI, such as the powerful Airflow web interface also there. You can monitor your tags and command line tools. Yeah, so command line tools are available. You can use the G-Cloud commands for the Cloud Composer, like your case Airflow you are using, right? Airflow tasks test commands. And there you can use the direct, Airflow commands from the command line. But you need to use the G Cloud there, so you can focus on your workflows and not on your infrastructure facilities. Very important. And coming to the Apache Airflow and Cloud Composer, so especially you must be aware of one concept like the DAGs. DAGs are nothing but so it's abbreviated like the directed acyclic graph. Directed acyclic graph in the sense like the tasks that are orchestrated in the DAG itself flow. I mean, they flow from one end to another end. They should not be interconnected or they should not be cyclic mode. That means if the task one executes, then it goes on to the task two and task three, and it goes on like that. But once while preparing the DAG, the task should not come back to the task one. In other words, the dependencies of the tasks among the tasks should not be iterated or it's like it's not a cyclic one. So here the relationship between DAGs and tasks, it is the diagram. The part, the complete, the body of the DAG will be having the tasks, especially and giving the dependencies among them. So in data analytics, workflow represents a series of tasks. Very important. Workflow is the another word for the DAG only. So workflow can be used alternatively as the DAG. So workflow represents a series of tasks for ingesting of the data, transforming of the data, or analyzing the data, or even you can utilize in the data also in the tag itself in the form of tasks only. So in Airflow, workflows are created using DAGs or directed acyclic graph. So here it is working model. That means there is no cyclic kind of stuff in this slide. So you can take a look at. And one more thing, in directed acyclic graph, each task is going to be created using one operator. Operator is nothing but a task creator. So in other words, we can say simply in Python language, it is a class. So using that class, you can create number of tasks in the DAG itself. So each operator is useful for creating number of tasks. So that is very important. You need to take a look at this task and operator relation also. And so this is the user interface of the web server of the Airflow. So Airflow has got tremendous architecture. So in that architecture, we have one of the component of the Airflow architecture is the web server. So right now the screen is, I mean, it is the resemblance of the Airflow web server only. So here the tasks, DAGs, cluster activity, data set security, browse, admin docs. These are the menu options. This application is created with the class and very important. You can even edit this web server user interface using the class code itself. And one more thing, here the grid view, graph view, so all other menu buttons are there. Even here we have the graph view, so the tasks and its dependencies are shown here in the form of the graphical mode. So very important. So we can focus on all these things later on in the coming videos. And coming to the other section, very important, you can run parallelly some of the tasks. Here, in our case, from this slide, the pipeline as a DAG, you have the dependencies between tasks. So the task one executes first and task four executes last. But in between, simultaneously, that means parallelly task two, task three are going to be executed. So it is the one of the workflow. So workflow means task one is a work, and in other words, is a job. Task 2 is a job, task 3 is a job, task 4 is a job. So all these works are done using this DAG workflow. Here you need to know about a DAG is a collection of tasks. Like as I said earlier, a DAG is a collection of tasks that you want to schedule and run, organized in a way that reflects the relationships in the form of dependencies only. Tags are created in Python scripts. Yeah, so it is given one more time. Tags are created in Python scripts, so which define the tag structure, tasks, and their dependencies using Python code itself. So this is also a cyclic graph. You can understand that one. Now, very important. So many times we have uttered the word like acyclic, acyclic, acyclic. What does it mean actually? So if you take a look at the upper picture, directed acyclic graph, the second one is the under one, so directed cyclic graph. Here task one depends on the task two. You can take a look at it. The task two, if the task two runs and then the flow should goes on to the task one. And if the task one runs, that flow should goes on to the task two. But actually, if you look at this one, it is a cyclic mode. And out of these two tasks, which one should be run first? For example, if you want to run task one, it says that the task two should be run first. If you would like to run the task two, then it says that the graph it says that, and that means denotes you task one should run first. So out of these two tasks, which one should be run first is not configured, is easily understood by the Airflow scheduler. Airflow scheduler is the one of other components of the Airflow architecture. So Airflow scheduler may get messy in executing this tasks because which one should be run first? It is really uncomprehensible by the this Airflow scheduler. So there the DAG will get one error message like a cyclic is found in the DAG. So that is the main issue you need to understand. So task one will never be able to execute. The DAG is going to be and not to be executed, and even you will get an error message like cyclic graph is found. And each task in the DAG can represent almost anything. For example, one task might perform any of the following functions, like preparing of the data for ingestion or monitoring on API and sensing it and getting the data from the API call, sending an email, or even running other pipelines also. Maybe it can trigger another DAG. So that is the very important thing you need to understand. So the previous slides, you have seen some pictures like, especially regarding one web server user interface graph, right? So that is from this tag itself. It is a Python script. It is written in Python, and so the first block is in this is section is like importing section, and second section is default arguments. Is the second section, and the third section is the Python functions. So we have four functions here. So how can we identify this is the function? Because it starts with the def keyword, and the DAG is equal DAG. It is the DAG instantiation section, and tasks are there. So here are the tasks, and the last section is the task dependencies. Here we use the bit shift operators, right bit shift operators here, and that is the simple. Uh, I mean something with this one, uh, airflow and DAGs and compose and all these things. Like, subscribe, share my channel, and learn.